Welcome to Creepy Cinema, where we delve into the dark and twisted corners of the human psyche. Today we explore the chilling tales of 5 infamous serial killers who are still alive. Prepare yourself for a journey into the macabre. Our first subject is David Berkowitz, better known as the Son of Sam. Born in 1953, Berkowitz terrorized New York City in the 1970s with his brutal and seemingly random attacks. Berkowitz's killing spree began in the summer of 1976 and lasted until his arrest in August 1977. He murdered 6 people and wounded 7 others using a .44 caliber bulldog revolver. Berkowitz sent taunting letters to the police and the press, creating widespread fear and panic. His motive was allegedly influenced by a belief that he was commanded to kill by a demon-possessed dog named Harvey, belonging to his neighbor Sam Carr. These bizarre claims contributed to the sensationalism surrounding his case. Berkowitz often targeted young couples sitting in parked cars, striking at night. The city was gripped with fear as Berkowitz eluded capture for over a year. His eventual arrest came from a parking ticket near the scene of one of his crimes, leading to his confession. Berkowitz is currently serving 6 consecutive life sentences at Shawangunk Correctional Facility in New York. In prison, he has become a born-again Christian and now refers to himself as the Son of Hope. He has expressed remorse for his actions and has been involved in various outreach programs, warning young people about the dangers of involvement in the occult and violence. Berkowitz maintains a website through intermediaries where he shares his story, religious messages, and writings. Despite his transformation, the memories of his heinous crimes still haunt the survivors and the families of his victims. Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK Killer, is our second subject. Born in 1945, Rader led a seemingly normal life in Wichita, Kansas, working as a compliance officer and being active in his church. Rader's nickname, BTK, stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, describing his modus operandi. His killing spree began in 1974 and lasted until 1991, claiming 10 victims. Rader's methodical approach involved stalking his victims, breaking into their homes and brutally murdering them. He often left clues and taunting letters to the police and media, maintaining a high level of control over his narrative. Rader's ability to blend into the community while committing these atrocities made him a subject of morbid fascination. His crimes remained unsolved for decades, during which he lived a double life as a family man and church leader. Rader was captured in 2005 after resuming communication with the police, who traced a computer disk he had sent. He is currently serving 10 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole at El Dorado Correctional Facility in Kansas. Rader has shown little remorse for his actions, often describing his crimes in chillingly detached detail. He continues to correspond with journalists and criminologists, providing insights into his twisted psyche. His case remains a profound example of the capacity for evil hidden behind a mask of normalcy. Our third subject is Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. Born in 1949, Ridgway is one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. Ridgway's killing spree began in the early 1980s and lasted until his capture in 2001. He was convicted of 49 murders but confessed to killing at least 71 women, most of whom were vulnerable young women and sex workers in the Seattle area. Ridgway's method involved strangulation, often using ligatures, and he would dispose of the bodies in remote areas, frequently revisiting the sites to engage in necrophilia. The investigation into the Green River Killer was one of the longest and most exhaustive in U.S. history, involving multiple law enforcement agencies and the use of early DNA profiling techniques. Ridgway's arrest was a breakthrough in forensic science, utilizing DNA evidence to finally link him to the crimes. Ridgway is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole at Washington State Penitentiary. He avoided the death penalty by providing detailed confessions and assisting authorities in locating the remains of his victims. Ridgway's lack of remorse and his matter-of-fact recounting of his crimes have made him a chilling figure in the annals of criminal history. His case is often studied in criminal psychology courses, and his actions continue to have a lasting impact on the families of his victims and the community at large. Edmund Kemper, also known as the Co-Ed Killer, is our fourth subject. Born in 1948, Kemper's towering stature and intellect make his crimes particularly unnerving. Kemper's criminal activities began early. At the age of 15, he murdered his grandparents, resulting in his incarceration in a juvenile facility. Released at 21, Kemper's killing spree started in 1972, targeting young female college students. He would pick up hitchhikers, murder them, and engage in acts of necrophilia and dismemberment. Kemper also killed his own mother and one of her friends, an act he later described as a symbolic culmination of his rage. His detailed confessions and willingness to discuss his crimes provided deep insights into his disturbed mind, revealing a complex interplay of hatred, control, and a desperate need for recognition. Kemper is incarcerated at California Medical Facility, where he has been a model prisoner. He participates in various prison programs, including narrating books for the blind. Kemper has been eligible for parole several times, but has consistently been denied. His articulate nature and cooperation with authorities have made him a subject of numerous interviews and documentaries. Despite his cooperative demeanor, the horrifying nature of his crimes continues to evoke fear and revulsion. Our final subject is Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper. Born in 1946, Sutcliffe terrorized the United Kingdom in the late 1970s. Sutcliffe's killing spree began in 1975 and lasted until his arrest in 1981. He was convicted of murdering 13 women and attempting to murder 7 others. Sutcliffe's modus operandi involved striking his victims with a hammer and stabbing them repeatedly, often targeting sex workers. His ability to evade capture for years led to widespread criticism of the police investigation, which was marred by numerous errors and missed opportunities. Sutcliffe's arrest came after a routine traffic stop, where police discovered he had false license plates, leading to further questioning and his eventual confession. Sutcliffe was incarcerated at HM Prison Franklin. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and spent a significant amount of time in Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility. Sutcliffe's health deteriorated over the years, and he faced multiple attacks from other inmates. His notoriety made him a target, and he remained a figure of intense public interest and revulsion until his death in November 2020 due to complications related to COVID-19. The legacy of his crimes has had a lasting impact on the UK, influencing policing methods and the treatment of serial offenses. These 5 individuals left an indelible mark on history with their horrifying acts. As we reflect on their past and present, we are reminded of the darkness that can exist in the human soul. Thank you for joining us on this unsettling journey. Stay tuned to Creepy Cinema for more dives into the macabre and the mysterious. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe and stay curious.